Thank you very much for making our time to join. I am Talatu Tende, a staff of the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute, moderating the meeting and project manager for the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. This evening, we are going to be listening to Joseph Ibrahim Izang. Joseph is a graduate of the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute in Jos, and also a member of the Arewa Atlas team, Jos Bird Club, and several bird clubs that he has joined. As I introduced Joe on the Facebook page, if you go to the field with Joe, you have to beg him that you are tired. You need to go back and rest. He never gets tired. So I often call him the Atlas machine. He's one of the machines we have on the Atlas project. There are several. He's one of the Atlas machines we have around. And interestingly, Joy has combined his passion for birds with butterflies and several other things. He goes out in the field bird watching and running after dragonflies, butterflies, and so on and so forth, looking at plants. And that is what it's all about. It's not all about birds, it's all about biodiversity. This evening, I will not say much. I want to give the floor to Joe to let us understand his combination of birds and butterflies, to let others know that it's not just birds. You can do birds and plants, you can do birds and mosquitoes, whatsoever it is you're interested in. It's all about biodiversity and conservation of biodiversity. This evening, I welcome everyone. Relax and listen to Joe as he gives his presentation. Let's make welcome Joseph Ibrahim Izang. You're welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Dr. T, for a wonderful introduction. So I will just go ahead and share my screen so we'll get on the business for today. All right, thanks so much. And once more, Dr. T, thank you for a very wonderful introduction and to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project for this great opportunity to give a talk on an area I'm very passionate about. Citizen science is a fairly common terminology, at least in this part of the world, but an old practice. That is and citizen science is the collection and analysis of data relating to the natural world by members of the general public, typically as part of a collaborative project with professional scientists. That is, citizen science projects are conducted in whole or in part by amateur scientists and or non-professionals. Nigerian Bird Atlas Project was the first nationwide citizen science project in Nigeria. This project kickstarted in November 2015 by a team of 3 very enthusiastic individuals, talking about Professor Ottison here, and Dr. Tende and Dr. Ivandi. When this project started, it looks and sounds as if it was completely a crazy idea, because in a country as large as Nigeria, with a landmass of about 940,000 kilometers square, and then an estimated potential volunteer base of just 100 individuals, and these 100 individuals were trained ornithologists from the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute. And for a team of 3 individuals to embark on such a very high tax, it sounds entirely crazy. But quickly, the team adopted a strategy that has worked so well so far, and that is the establishing the bird club strategy. And these bird clubs were established by around the 100 trained ornithologists who happen to be graduates of the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute when they finish their graduate and are doing other things in other parts of the country. So the NABAP team first map out these graduates, and of course, not all the 100 will accept the idea of the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, of course, and then not all of them will get involved. So by the end of 2015, about 23 clubs were established in different parts of the country. So this bird club served as a training ground for those that were interested in nature but don't have the necessary skills or don't have the capacity to contribute data on nature to citizen science. So for most of these graduates, where the bird atlas, the bird clubs were established around them, they invited family members, friends, and those of them that were into academia or know other people that are interested in nature, invited them to be part of the club. And through that, they were trained on birds identification and other aspects of citizen science. And also, these bird clubs serve as a medium through which the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project were able to reach wider audience with the aims of the project. And also through this bird club, there was also the quality control of the data coming into the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, because in each of these bird clubs, there were trained personnel that are very much trained in birds identification and are very professional in the way they do their bird watching. So the establishment of Bird Club not benefited NIBAP in so many ways, and this is actually evidenced in both the increased number of participation by citizens, scientists across Nigeria, as well as increased coverage of the Atlassian project over time. So, for example, in 2015, when this project was launched in November, by the end of the year, there were just 7 submissions, that is 7 pentats covered in the whole of Nigeria. And these 7 pentats, I guess, were covered by the the 3 team members that started up the project. And the 7 pentats that were covered, 5 were around the AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute, while 2 were covered around the Lekki region in Lagos. But then by the next year, there were about 23 clubs, bird clubs around the country, and that increased the number of people actively submitting data to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project to about 80 individuals submitting record to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. And then there were about 23 Atlas team in the country as of that time. And by the end of that year, there were over 320 submissions of pentats to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, and then an estimated number of about 300 individuals bird watching in different parts of Nigeria. The progress continued to this 2021. By 2021, as of today, there has over 840 pentats have been submitted only in 2021 to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. And the number of individuals submitting this record has increased to over 250 individuals actively participating in the project and submitting data to the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. And an estimated number of close to 2,000 people across different parts of Nigeria bird watching for different purposes. This number may actually quite be more than the numbers I'm giving now, because in the birds, the Facebook page of Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, there's close to about 5,000 members, although these members might not all be Nigerians or citizen science from Nigeria, but obviously there's actually general acceptance of citizen science in Nigeria, and all this interest has been stirred up by the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. So the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, okay, this is the coverage map as of 2021. So birds are actually just window to nature. And so as people go out to watch birds and to collect data for the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, people begin to develop interest in other taxa. So they go out to the field, they see other taxa, they see the moths, they see the butterflies, they see the dragonflies, they see some mammals and many other things. And then people begin to ask questions, what is happening to these other things? Is there anything being done about them? So people begin to take pictures of these things that are looking so good. And people begin to find out about other worldwide citizen science project and African citizen science project. And there has been over time increase in number of individuals participating from Nigeria in worldwide citizen science project by constantly submitting data to such project. One of such projects is the iNaturalist as well as the virtual museum, which I will be shedding more light on, and I will be highlighting some of the progress is made in this citizen science project, and as is inspired by the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. So like I said earlier, when people go out to birdwatch, they see so many things out there in the field because there are different components of biodiversity. And people get to find out things that are very interesting. Some people get to find out even things that are more interesting to them than the birds. So they pick a career from it and begin to look for other things doing. So up here is Nancy Wilfred. She's also a member of the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. You could see how curious she is taking a picture of an insect. And up here is the present coordinator of the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. I was with her out in the field and she saw this little butterfly. She was very curious. She wanted to know what this was. And she was asking me, is there any way have you been contributing data to other citizen science projects by taking pictures of this other aspect of biodiversity that you are very passionate about? And also you have students, both tertiary and elementary school, coming to the AP Leventis and other protected areas in Nigeria to birdwatch and do other academic activities. And when you go out with them to the field, you see students curiously asking questions about different other aspects of our biodiversity. These are elementary school students. They came to AP Leventis Ornithological Research Institute to see birds. They came with Rose Adaji, but then they started asking her about butterflies and more. So she had to invite me, Joseph, please come, you need to talk to these guys about butterflies because they have been asking lots of questions that I can't answer. So when people go out to the field, they pick interest on other things. And some of these interests I would be demonstrating I would be showing some demonstration of how these interests are actually gradually built into higher participation of Nigerians in citizen science projects across the globe. So the first project I will be talking about is the virtual museum. The virtual museum provides the platform for citizen scientists to contribute to biodiversity project. This is an initiative of the demographic unit, the AGU, in the University of Cape Town. And the database in the virtual museum are used for multiple purposes. The most common use is which to collect all the places where a species has been photographed and to generate distribution maps for the species. This serve for conservation as well as education too. So under the virtual museum, there are about 18 different projects which actually biomap different categories of biodiversity. I will be looking at a few and how higher participation of citizen scientists from Nigeria has contributed to higher understanding, to better understanding of biodiversity distribution in different parts of Nigeria. So the first we'll be looking at is the Odona map. So Odona map is the mapping of the dragonflies as well as the damsel flies. So from 2015 to date, there has been increased participation of citizens citizen scientists from Nigeria in the mapping of Odonata across different regions of Nigeria. So the blue colors here are actually historic data, that is data that were collected before the onset of this virtual museum project in 2005. That is 10 years before the Nigerian Bird Atlas project was launched. So then the green colors here are actually data contributed from Nigeria. To date, and you can see from 2015 to date there has been a large coverage of there has been submission of in almost 100 grid cells from Nigeria. Similarly, for reptiles, there has been increased participation of scientists, citizen scientists from Nigeria submitting record to the virtual museum. Prior to 2015, there was visiting researchers in Nigeria. But then now, citizen scientists have been recording, sending record to the virtual museum in tens every week. And this is actually largely inspired by the work done by the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. For mapping of mammalian species in the virtual museum, there has also been massive attention or massive progress from the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, as well as higher participation by Nigerian citizen scientists is the iNaturalist. So the iNaturalist is a joint initiative of the Californian Academy of Sciences and then the National Geographic. And the iNaturalist is a social network of naturalists, citizen scientists, and biologists built on the concept of mapping and sharing observation of biodiversity across the globe. So before the end of before the end of 2015, this was the number of grid cells covered in Nigeria, or these are the grid cells that records have been submitted from Nigeria to the left. And judging from the coverage map here, there are roughly about 20 grid that records have been sent to iNaturalist from Nigeria. Most of these records were sent by foreign or visiting researchers to Nigeria. However, as of from 2016 to present, this is how the coverage map or the number of records or the grid cells that records have been sent to iNaturalist from Nigeria looks like to the right. And the most striking thing here is the similarity in the distribution of the grid covered in the iNaturalist coverage and those of the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. Let's take a very quick look at it. This is the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project map coverage here to the left, and then this is the coverage map in the iNaturalist to my right, and you could see the similarity in the pattern of the coverage in the two maps. And this actually further portrays the fact that Nigerian Bird Atlas Project has done greatly, not just for mapping the distribution of Nigerian bird, but also in mapping other taxons. When citizen scientists go out to collect data for the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, they see other things, and then they take picture of these things, and then they biomap them in other citizen science project going on globally. So some of the people doing this great work in iNaturalist are highlighted here. So down here is the 10 most contributing individuals to biomapping in iNaturalist from Nigeria. Top on the list is A.S. Ringim with over 1,400 observations and across 392 species. That is, he has submitted 1,466 photos to the iNaturalist to date, and that cut across 392 species. And he's closely followed by Dr. Agola, who has submitted about 1,121 records or pictures to the iNaturalist, and then in 378 species. Down in the third position is Adedotun. Adedotun's story is a very interesting one, and I will get Adedotun to talk to us at the course of this discussion. Adedotun has the highest number of species biomap in the iNaturalist. And for the species, the species with the highest records on iNaturalist from Nigeria is the shrew-colored fruit bat. And most of these records of these colored shrew bats were biomapped by Adedotun and then Dr. Adeyonju in Ibadan. So, and from Nigeria to date, there has been over 9,000 records sent from Nigeria in the and then of 2,027 species, and 770 individuals have actually contributed to this record. Most of these records have been sent between 2016 to date. This actually portrays the fact that Nigerian Bird Atlas Project has done a lot more than just mapping the distribution of Nigerian birds, but getting the general public to involve and become more responsible to the biodiversity in their immediate environment. So I have said a lot already. So I think let's hear from other young citizen scientists that are doing great things for Nigerian biodiversity. So the first person we'll be listening to is Adedotun, who has a background in computer science, but has taken biomapping as one of the key things he's been doing. And he picked up this interest because he realized that there are relatively lesser information on Nigerian biota to the neighboring country. So this has been the trend in for butterflies. This has been the trend of observation or records submission from Nigeria. So the first butterfly records from Nigeria was in 1977, and this record was submitted by a birder, Paul Markens, who visited Nigeria for a birding trip, and he's accredited for the first record picture of butterflies sent to the iNaturalist from Nigeria. And also in 1978, the same Paul was sent a record of the butterflies. So up here is the first butterflies record of from Nigeria. And the interesting thing here is you could see the trend in the pattern of butterfly records in Nigeria. So the first butterfly picture sent to iNaturalist by a Nigerian citizen from Nigeria was in 2006, and that picture was sent by Dr. Adeyonju from Ibadan. And also, very interestingly, you see the trend from 2015 when the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project was launched. There has been a massive increase in the number of records of butterflies to the iNatural from Nigeria to iNaturalist. And most of these records were by citizen scientists. Although the number of records dropped in 2019, well, probably due to the pandemic, but then shortly after the pandemic, after the lockdown and the rest, there has been an increase with the highest number of records of butterflies in the iNaturalist peak in 2020. And 2021 has also received a remarkable records from Nigeria, from Nigerian-based citizen scientists. Similarly, the number of observers across the year have seen an increase, especially from 2015. There has been an upward increase in the number of people contributing to butterfly biomapping in iNaturalist from Nigeria, with the peak being in 2020 and then 2021, and still more counting for this year. All right, Adejo Tun is up.
Hi, my name is Adedotun Ajibade. I am a citizen scientist and nature photographer. I have special interest in butterflies and birds because they are easily accessible and I don't have to travel far to see them. My interest in citizen science began when I was on a break due to ill health. This period gave me the opportunity to explore my immediate environment more and make closer observations of biodiversity. I found out that there was a shortage of information and media on our wildlife on the internet. This was an instant motivation to get more active with the camera and contribute good nature photos on citizen science platforms. Nigerian Bird Atlas Project adds value to citizen science by encouraging volunteering. It also provides regular activities for citizen scientists and a more formal avenue to contribute new and more knowledge on birds.
All right, Thank you. That was Adedotun. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can.
All right, thank you. So that was Adedotun, and like you've seen it here, Adedotun has a background in computer science, and he picked up interest in biodiversity mapping. And as he stands today, Adedotun has the highest number of butterflies records on the iNaturalist, and he has some of the best collection of butterflies pictures from Nigeria on iNaturalist. The story of Adedotun is a very interesting one because of his background and how his motivation to biomapping came about. And to date, he still has the highest number of records of species from Nigeria. And his impressive work, and most impressively, see the number of species, a number of identification he has made on iNaturalist. This is almost highest of any other Nigerian citizen scientist. And the peak of his submission to the iNaturalist was in June 2021, when he took a picture of this African map butterfly, this picture earned him an award of being the best observation of the week. And for these butterflies, it was a life fact, that is, it was the first record of the picture of this butterfly from the whole world. And Adedotun was credited for submitting that picture. So Adedotun is not just into butterflies; he's into array of things. And he was once a member of the Southwest Atlas team that we've been hearing about, and currently he's a member of the Southwest Atlas team. So he's also engaging in birding activities. Secondly, let's hear from a very young biologist, Lucky Atebo, who has also been doing great things in the town of Lokoja in the Middle Belt region of Nigeria.
My name is Lucky Atebo Panachi, currently pursuing a degree in biology from Federal University Lokoja. I am a citizen scientist under the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project, and also the iNaturalist. So I was able to build my capacity for citizen science and for biodiversity conservation while I was an intern at Aplori, precisely in the year 2019. So far, I discovered that I could do more by being out there in the field under the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. So I began to develop interest in other tags as well. So whenever I'm out in the field, I try as much as possible to take record of every other tags that I find out there, just like the butterflies, the dragonflies, reptiles, and even interesting plants and trees. So far, over the last couple of months, I started a challenge for myself, the new species everyday challenge. And I've been able to record up to 70 species of butterfly within the grid cell of my campus, as well as other tags such as dragonflies. So I think the future of citizen science is really bright under the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. And I believe that the more people show interest, the more we can achieve for conservation of biodiversity in Nigeria.
So I will be sharing some of the data Lucky has collected in his monitoring project when monitoring biodiversity in a small garden in the central city of Lokoja. So the impressive thing about the work Lucky is doing is that he gets some of his friends to get involved in what he's doing. And that has also increased the number of observations as well as participation for citizen science in the region. So Lucky has a total number of 226 species biomap in iNaturalist with 472 records, and he has an impressive 380 identification on the iNaturalist. And Lucky Atebo has one of the highest record of biomapping from Nigeria on the virtual museum. And this actually earned him an interview would be the Biodiversity and Development Institute in South Africa, one of the few citizen scientists from Nigeria that have earned that opportunity to have this interview. So Lucky Atebong is doing some of the great thing in the south and in the central region of Nigeria, observing this little garden cycle here in red, and very impressive result coming from Lucky by monitoring this little garden. And some of the data generated by Lucky, he has recorded close to 90 species of over 100 species of Lepidoptera, with about 75 species of butterflies, with the family Nymphalidae having the highest number of species in his 2 months monitoring in the town of Lokoja. These are some of the very good pictures taken by Lucky. And another impressive thing with the work he's doing is that Lucky doesn't have a camera. He uses his phone to take some of these pictures and biomapping them, meaning we don't need sophisticated gadget to undertake biomapping. You can start by using your phone, start by taking things around you. Lucky is not going too far to do this biomapping. Just around him, around his house, just a garden in the middle of his school, he go and biomap every day, and he has been getting remarkable, he has been doing remarkable things with remarkable record. So around you, you could start also by biomapping what is immediately around you, and you will see, you won't know how much data you will contribute to citizen science, and also thereby contributing to the fate of our biodiversity. The last citizen scientist we'll be listening to is Kelvin. Kelvin is based in Cross River, and he has been doing great things too for biodiversity. Let's listen to Kelvin.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelvin Ayos from Cross River. I am a graduate of elementary education and an eco-guide to Nigerian Conservation Foundation. I became aware of the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project and citizen science in 2016 when Dr. Sam Evande introduced the Bird Atlas app to me. And ever since then, it's been a kind of motivation to study and know about, study more and know about nature and citizen science across the globe. My achievements so far as a citizen scientist is the establishment of the Ranch Bird Club, the establishment of also the Southeast South Atlas team, as well as contributing to Virtual Museum and some other citizen science project, iNaturalist, and so on. What I think about citizen science is that there is lack of awareness in Nigeria, and I think is the appropriate channel or the right strategy to create awareness about nature and conservation, where irrespective of your profession, you can contribute more to nature and environmental awareness. It has to do with observation and contributing data to science. And I think the basic starting point is to create more awareness about citizen science.
That was Kelvin. And Kelvin has also been doing very impressive work in the Cross River, that is south region of Nigeria. So Kelvin is the last citizen scientist we'll be listening to. So I will go a bit deeper into the details of what I have been doing as regards butterfly monitoring in Nigeria, and how that was inspired by the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. So with all this being said, and with the higher participation by citizen scientists on the different citizen science projects in Nigeria, what is next for Nigerian butterflies? So sometimes it's not good enough to know that we have these butterflies and to also to generate distribution maps. But butterflies have been used to assess the health of our environment, and to use butterflies as indicators of environmental health. You just don't, it's not enough only to depend on the distribution map, but you should be able to infer from trends in butterflies populations, and to get the trends in butterflies population, there must be, or there should be, a more organized and more standardized methods of butterfly monitoring. So as a first step to butterfly monitoring in Nigeria, apart from biomapping and generating distribution maps, we established a project in the north central region of Nigeria, based in the Jos Plateau region, to compare the effectiveness of different methods used in butterfly sampling in Nigeria. This is necessary because the trends in different methods has been used in butterfly monitoring in different parts of the world, and the effectiveness of this different method actually depends on the landscape. For example, one of the methods we use, which was polar walk, is a transect-based method, and this method has widely been used in Europe for butterfly monitoring, whereas the fruit baiting method is a trap method where fruit and traps are being bait with fruit, and fruit feeding butterflies are attracted to the trap and get trapped. And this method has widely been used in the tropics, where there are a vast and large number of fruit feeding butterflies species. So we compared these two methods to check which method is most effective and which method will give us a better understanding of the trends in the butterfly population in a typical savanna setting. So this research, we carried it out in the Amurum Forest Reserve and Kwanga Farms in the Jos Plateau area, Jos Plateau regions of Nigeria. So Amurum Forest Reserve is a small protected area just a few kilometers outside the town of Jos, and also Kwanga Farms. Kwanga Farm is located in Kwanga community, one of the adjoining community to Amurum Forest Reserve. So in this research, what we do was that we use the grid method. We generated random grids in the two study sites. And we use QGIS to locate the center of these grids, and the center of those grids actually serve as a reference for both the polar walk as well as mounting one of our trap. So data were collected in the morning, and data were collected in morning to evening, and from October 2020 to December 2020. So from our comparison, we found out that irrespective of the habitat type, we used 3 different habitat types: gallery forest, savanna woodland, and the rocky upthrow. Irrespective of the habitat type, the polar walk, which is a transect-based method, accumulated and detected more species and more butterflies than the fruit baiting. And for the abundance, in the gallery for the abundance, polar walk was significantly detected more butterflies than the fruit bait across all the different habitat types. So similar letter up here to the left up means different alphabets here means significance, whereas similar alphabet means is not significant. So you can see for this across all the habitat types, polar walk recorded significantly more butterflies individuals than the fruit baiting. And then in a similar manner for the species richness, polar walk recorded more species of butterflies across the different habitat types for across all the habitat type, although it was not significant in the case of savanna, but then for rocky and gallery forest, it was significant. However, the community of butterflies recorded into 2 study sites was quite different. For example, in the Amurum Forest Reserve, which is here to the left, the most abundant species were Basilos campa, whereas in the unprotected area, Amurum Forest Reserve is a protected area, whereas the Kwanga Farm is an unprotected area where you have lots of anthropogenic activities such as grazing, farming activities, and then high rate of deforestation going on. So in the protected areas, the most abundant species was Belanois Basilos campa. Basilos campa larvae actually relied on grass species to feed. And in these protected areas, there are lots of grasses because it's a protected area, of course. But then in the unprotected areas, most of the grasses have been depleted by either grazing, farming, or other form of anthropogenic activities. So this probably resulted to the lower number of abundant of the bicyclos camper that was observed in the unprotected area. Also, this research was carried out in the October to December, and that is actually a very good time for butterflies migration. So Amurum Forest Reserve was field survey before the Ponga farms, and as the first week of this survey, there was no individual of Belanois aurata recorded. But then as of the last week of this survey, we recorded Belanois aurata were in hundreds in the environment. So an Amurum Forest Reserve was first surveyed before the Ponga farms. This might probably have accounted for the higher number of Belanois aurata observed in the unprotected area. So, and this simply means that Ponga farms this simply means that polar work is the most appropriate methods to use in butterfly monitoring in the savannah region of Nigeria. However, so using the two methods for long-time butterfly monitoring is the best, and that is what we recommend for butterfly monitoring. So generally, Nigeria is under survey. For example, Amurum Forest Reserve, which is one of the sites we survey, is one of the, arguably one of the most surveyed sites in Nigeria. Amurum Forest Reserve is, since 2005, has been surveyed at least once by professionals and at least 2 to 5 times in a year by non-professionals, including students undertaking undergraduate studies. But within the few, even though this part of Nigeria, this reserve has relatively been surveyed more than most part of Nigeria, there has also been increase in number of species that has been recorded. Especially this year, we've recorded an additional 7 new butterfly species in Amurum Forest Reserve. This simply means that Nigeria generally is under survey, and we might have more than the estimated 1,400, over 1,400 butterfly species that is estimated to occur in Nigeria. So with more intense and more organized monitoring project in Nigeria for butterflies, we might get to discover more butterfly species in Nigeria, and also we might get to record lots of range extension for butterfly species, especially with the rate of climate change, as well as rate of deforestation that is going on in the country, which is one of the most threatening and anthropogenic activities on butterflies community, as well as the general biodiversity in Nigeria. What does the future hold for Nigerian butterflies? So for Nigerian butterflies, the future looks even brighter now, especially with some individuals putting in a lot of effort to see that people develop interest on butterflies. Already, there is already a community of over 20 butterflies, active people are going out for butterflies collection in Nigeria. When I say 20, I mean citizen-based people participating in different butterflies studies. This is more than any other records we know. And there are certain people that have been putting lots of energy to see that they inspire people and give people more reason to participate in citizen science and butterfly mapping in Nigeria. One of such person who is doing a great job in Nigeria is Oscar, who has been producing free electronic guides to butterflies of Nigeria. So far, he has produced 4 different editions covering different across 4 different families, and he's still working on many more to come. And this is actually a welcoming idea because it has encouraged lots of people also to engage in butterfly sampling, because one of the things is that you might get a butterfly and it's entirely another ball game to identify it. So Oscar has been producing this guide, and it is going a long way in encouraging participation in butterflies monitoring in Nigeria. So if you are one of those people that is interested on butterfly, but you have butterflies around you, you need to know their names, you need to know what they are, but then you've been thinking of how to identify them. The good news here is that there are free guides that are produced by Oscar, and these guides, you can download them free and use it in your phone or in your laptop to identify what is around you. So the best thing is always to start around you, get the common butterflies. And there is another project which will be coming up soon. Oscar, in collaboration with John Becker. John Becker joined us this evening too. They are producing a guide of the 50 commonest butterflies in Nigeria. That is also to encourage citizens in participating in this citizen science project. So if you want to follow this project, you want to get updates on the publication of new edition, or you want to get more information on this project, you can contact Oscar via the email display on the screen. And if you need to download any of this, we encourage people to go and download directly from the site and avoid collecting from others, because these guides are being updated frequently. So it's best you go and get it from the site and then download the up-to-date version of this butterfly guide. You can visit Oscar homepage at www.bicycles.se to download any of these guides. It's both in PDF format and also in read easily format for your consumption. The up-to-date guide on Nigerian butterflies is the butterflies of West Africa, and a single copy of that, a hard copy of that will cost up to $500, and you have somebody producing this for free. Just to encourage people to get participated is actually a welcome idea. And also, not just the guide, there's also been a recent group called the Lepidoptera Society of West Africa, with most of its members being Nigerians. So if this group is actually a very close group of people that are very interested on butterflies, and this group will have some of the most experienced, if not the 3 most experienced people on Nigerian butterflies in the group. And these people include Oscar Brastom, John Becker, as well as Warren, who have done countless years of studies on butterflies in Nigeria and know a lot about the distribution and then of Nigerian butterflies. So if you're also interested on butterflies, you can join this group, take pictures of butterflies you can identify, post them to this group, and then this expert will help you in identifying them. And not just the butterflies, there are other groups on Facebook and on WhatsApp. If you are interested on other taxa other than butterflies or birds, you could post pictures to the West African Wildlife and Nature Photography of any taxa, and then those records will be identified for you. And also, when you send this record to virtual museum and iNaturalist and the likes, they get experts also visit and get to identify all these records for you. So if you can't post this record to iNaturalist or the likes, you can post them to this Facebook page, this WhatsApp group, and for them to get identified. There is also this new group called the Black Odonatology Group of Nigeria, and these ones are specialists in dragonflies and damselflies. So if you are interested on this on damselflies and dragonflies, you could also contact me. I will connect you to Ekwan or Bibitayo to get added in the group. So for those of you that want to join the Lepidoptera Society of West Africa to get your butterflies identified or get to learn more about butterflies, please, you reach out to me or you reach out to Ringim so that you'll be added to the group. So with all this coming, and then lots of people coming to encourage citizen science in Nigeria, the future looks bright for biodiversity in Nigeria. And also people are becoming a lot more responsible for their environment and the biodiversity we find around them. And this dream was actually inspired and spearheaded by the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project. So we thank the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project for embarking on this project against all odds, and then the achievement so far for the Nigerian Bird Atlas Project and then for other taxa. So thank you all for listening. It's been great speaking to you all.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for this very interesting presentation this evening. We are going to give people opportunity to ask their question if anyone has a question. Thank you again once more, Joseph, for this interesting and excellent presentation. So I'm going to read out the questions we have on our chat. Thank you very much. And Oscar puts his comment, he said 6 guides, Joseph. Joseph, do you want to say something, or is it Oscar that wants to talk more? 6 guides, Joseph.
I can just say it's just not a problem. There's been some more published, but also the skipper guide that you showed is not something that is official yet. But at the moment, the plan is to start working on a guide for the more common species, because I think the way forward now, which John also mentioned before, is that to get this going, more people need to be interested in going out and doing regular monitoring. And I hope in that case that instead of focusing on rarities, by being out and learning the very basic species, just like it is with birds, it's not until you have a good foundation and kind of know your most common things around you that you automatically start to spot the new interesting things, and that will kind of help you. So I hope we can kind of start up some sort of organized monitoring with interested people, and it doesn't have to generate incredible data to begin with, but just as an exercise to see how well it works with citizen scientists doing these pollard walks. So, but at the moment, I'm sadly, I'm working full time also for my students here in Scotland. So at the moment, I'm busy making guides for stoneflies and mayflies. So I'm a little bit busy at the moment to finish more butterfly guides, but they are all worked on when I have time.
Thank you for that clarification, Oscar. And then there's a question from Ekpa. He's asking, how do you cope with insecurity in forest areas? Are some forest areas avoided due to insecurity? That's a question from Ekpa. Maybe Joseph, do you want to take it before we read the others?
Okay, so the security situation is unfortunate that it is what it is and one cannot do anything about it. So the first thing is to get yourself safe first. So anywhere you feel is not safe, is just to avoid it at the moment. You need to be alive to do work. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. I was actually going to give time to John and Oscar, but here is a post from John Beck. I said he would like to add a comment. Of course, it is possible. We want to hear from you and learn from you. So please, you have the floor, John.
Thank you very much. I've got 3 things to say, and I'll try and be as brief as I can. First of all, I completely support and corroborate what Joseph and Oscar said about learning common butterflies first. I think if more people get out on walks and transects and the like, and get a grasp of common butterfly knowledge, as Oscar said, you will learn more quickly. And if Oscar's going to put together a guide, and I've offered to help, so I think that's a really good thing. I just wanted to say that. And also to add to what Joseph was saying, he focused a lot on iNaturalist and the photos that have been put up there, which is great. I'd just like to add that for people that are interested, there are other photos out on the internet, and it's not always obvious where to look. But for example, the photo sharing website Flickr, flickr.com. I don't know whether people are aware, but I mean, Doton for one, Doton has got plenty of photos on there. I don't have many because I've not been to Nigeria recently, but I've got a lot of photos of Gambian butterflies on Flickr and on Facebook, which are similar species. And my elder brother, Nick, took an awful lot of photographs of butterflies in Nigeria, southeast Nigerian forests and Cameroon over the last few years, which are on Flickr. So it's worth having a look around, have a good look around, and you will find research or knowing where to look. So do have a look at Flickr. If you go into Flickr and just put Nigeria butterfly, you'll get a list of loads of butterflies. In terms of data on localities in Nigeria, I kind of feel a little bit, there's some data from the past which is sort of getting lost. And I think it's fantastic that there's so many people, so many of you interested in butterflies now, but there are old checklists, some even that were published years ago, even in the 60s, 70s, going back to the 40s even, in the Nigerian Field Society, things like that, that I suspect that a lot of people might not know about or have access to. And I don't have some of those papers, but I know for sure that there are checklists published of Omo, forest in southern Nigeria, Gambari, which I think is the trees have all been chopped down now, near Ibadan, Iloko Meji between Ibadan and Abeokuta. And there are, Torben Larsen's book on butterflies in West Africa, which is very expensive, does have a lot of data. And, I've got some of the checklists that were put together to create that book of butterfly records in Nigeria, which I'd be happy to share. I'm not sure how, but I just think, there's lots of data and it's hard to find. And I think it's, if somehow those of us that have some could try and put that out there. It doesn't have photos. There were very few photos taken in the past, but I think there's more perhaps that we could do to support you guys. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I would think in general, when it comes to areas that needs to be surveyed, obviously rainforests are important, but given the enormous diversity in rainforest, starting out as a butterfly enthusiast there is going to make it really, really tough. And also because it is the most diverse place, that tends to be where most people have gone in the past. So my thing might be in transition areas between forest and savanna, if you can find natural areas like that, so kind of heavily wooded savanna. And I also think it might not be many new species, but I'm sure there will be lots of new country records by starting to survey savannas quite far in the north. There's a lot of species among, for example, both skippers and lysinids, where we kind of just assume that they exist in Nigeria, but no one has actually found them, or there might be like a single record. So that area is very, very undersurveyed. And with new techniques, we more and more start to realize how what we thought was widespread species are often composed of several local species. So it might be of interest. But I think otherwise in general, Western Nigeria is also, Western Nigerian forests are interesting just for the simple reason that they ought to be done there.
Thank you very much for the useful contribution, John and Oscar. We are going to give room to people who want to ask the presenter a question. Meanwhile, Kainde's hand has been up since we started. I don't know if you want to ask a question, Kainde Kemabonta. And if you want to ask the presenter a question, you can either raise your hand or you put your question in the chat box. Then we'll read it for him to answer. Kainde, you ask your question.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I want to really appreciate Aplori and to appreciate Joseph for the beautiful presentation. Actually, most of what I would have said, he also made, so that I want to reinforce or to say more, so that those of us who are Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, please,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Yes, the Lepidoptera Society of West Africa, I just joined not too long, but I've learned a lot from it. So I would encourage those of us who are interested to please join in. And then there's the caterpillar rearing group. They help to rear, to teach you how to rear the caterpillar, tell you the name, and tell you a lot of things you need to know about it. The good thing is that the key leaders, Oscar, John, and several others are in the group here. I mean, they're in this webinar. So it will be good we join in so we can learn more. And I think we need to harmonize all these things together. The citizen scientists and all the other scientists will come together and maybe see how we move, because the more the merrier, and the further or the faster we go, you know, because you encourage yourselves. In fact, it was when I joined the Lepidoptera Society of West Africa, one of us, I don't know if it was Joseph who said it, that he was picking a butterfly per day. And I just decided to do that too. And I found this interesting. It may be the same thing I pick every day, but because I go out for it, I'm able to see it. And I know with time, I will have a large number. Then there's this one we have by the Center for Environmental Biodiversity in University of Lagos, the last week butterfly group. We're doing some work in collaboration with the Lagos State and the University of Lagos State University. So we're working together to see what we can do to bring back the butterflies to Lagos State. And this we have started, though not gone too far, but at least we've started and we know we will get somewhere. So I want to encourage every one of us, especially those of us who are here. I know it's because you're interested in the Lepidoptera, that's why you're here. So we can work together as a team and maybe form a group or join the existing groups so as to move further ahead. And then some of us in the worldwide Dragonfly Association, which is being headed by Professor Bogu, who is also currently the Entomological Society of Nigerian president. We decided to form it, the Black Odonatology Group, because we now had to bring in people all over the world to join the group. And I was happy, Joe said something about it too. In this one, we've even been able to digitize over 271 species of dragonflies and over 7,000 individuals in the GBIF IPI. So maybe by the time we all come together more, then we'll go ahead and we really accomplish greatness. Thank you so much. It's a good beginning for Aplori. We appreciate you and I wish you all the best. Thanks.
Thank you very much for this very important, useful contribution. I believe everyone here will queue into her suggestions, advice for us to drive ahead our biodiversity conservation in the country.